Hey everybody, I'm Mike. This is a bunch of Guns and Gear reviews, and this is not Friday. I know. What? I was supposed to have my show last night, but remembered I had to get up early this morning because I had made prior breakfast plans with my daughter, who came back in town from Wisconsin. Actually, she was working in Kenosha installing electric meters, which was not conducive to my mental health, but she's okay. She's back. She came home last night, and this morning her mother and I went out for some breakfast, which was really good. And so I decided to postpone the show till Monday, but you know what? As I found out, the honeydew list just keeps growing and growing and growing on this holiday weekend for me. So I wasn't going to have time Monday to do it. So I decided it would probably be a good idea to just go ahead and knock this one out today. So I carved out a couple hours to sit here and talk with you guys. And that's what we're going to do today. Those of you who care to join me in the middle of your Saturday, right? So it is Saturday, September 5th, 2020, and you are watching The Right of the People, where we use the first to defend the second. We are going to be talking about the murder of Aaron Danielson out in Portland, Oregon this past week. And we'll continue talking some more about developments in Kenosha with the incident in which Kyle Rittenhouse was forced to defend himself against vile scumbags. But before we do that, I would normally welcome my esteemed panel, but there ain't nobody. So, hey, if you got a link, want to hop in, hop on in. But I will say hello to everybody out there in the chat. If you haven't sounded off in the chat, I can't say hi to you because I don't know you're out there. So sound off, say hi, tell me to get bent, do whatever. Let me know you're out there. If you are listening in the replay, go ahead and comment below. Say hi, tell me what you think about what we're talking about. As long as you're not being deliberately demeaning and insulting to anyone, go ahead and disagree if you want. I do not live in an echo chamber, nor do I wish to. I want a free and open exchange of ideas. That's what I like about this platform versus radio or TV or anything like that, is that this is a two-way exchange. So even if you can't catch this live and you have to catch it in a replay, sound off and let me know what you think. So Newman Outdoors Newman says, hey, he was first. Scott P79 is out there. Gun Loving Grandpa is out there. Midnight Range TM took a break from the fry machine to say hello. DM Foss is out there. Who else? Rich White in the house. Who else? Is there anybody else? Grim 90's out there. Hello. Jason Stewart's in the house. M. Gabriel. G23 says, what is this? My live stream starts in about an hour. Yeah, man, sorry, but this is when I had to do it. This is when I'm going to have time. I may not even go for more than an hour or so. I don't know. So we'll see. James Pellerin's out there. Says, I keep people guessing on chat times. Well, you got to keep people on their toes. Once you become predictable, you become an easy target, right? Mr. Knightenment says, get bent. You told me to do it. Yes, I did. Now, send me a blank check to P.O. Box 124, Minerva, Ohio. 44657. So, hello, everybody. Let's go ahead and dive into this. So we do have some stuff to talk about. Oh, well, it would help if I would not get all discombobulated and bring the proper stuff up on my sources, damn it. So here we go. Once I can get the amateur out of my system, right? This is from Second Amendment Daily News from, doesn't say when it was from, but it was this past week. Says, Trump supporter in Portland prayer hat shot and killed while mob cheers. Nearly 100 days of rioting in Portland. Portland, Oregon. The left has answered Kyle Rittenhouse's actions in Kenosha, Wisconsin by murdering a Trump supporter. Multiple people were video streaming the events as they unfolded. In the videos, cars are driving through the intersection when somebody pulled a gun and shot at a man standing on the sidewalk. Viewers can watch the innocent man stumble and fall to the ground. Just a few seconds prior to the gunshot, a voice can be heard saying, "Hey, we got one right here. We got a Trumper right here," which isn't a necessary. That's what it sounds like in one of the videos, but there's another video where the audio's more clear. That's not what was said, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's play the very beginning, a snip of that first video, and where it sounds like he says, "We got a Trumper right here." And it did sound like, in this video, it did sound like he said, "We got a Trumper right here," but that's not what was said. It's close, though. This is when the murderers laid eyes on their target, and their own words testify that the man was chosen at random. After the man fell to the ground, the mob of angry leftists wasn't sobered by their actions. They didn't lament what their bloodlust had led them to do. Instead, they crowed about killing a Nazi. This is disgusting, by the way. Apparently, though, they didn't take out the trash because there seems to be one of them standing there with a megaphone. Meanwhile, not moments before, another man had been chased off by the mob after trying to stop them from looting and destroying a gas station. That man, too, had been labeled a Nazi for trying to convince the mob not to destroy a gas station. So apparently, just simply disagreeing with them and wanting them to not destroy shit makes you a Nazi. After almost 100 days of rioting in this city, Mayor Ted Wheeler still isn't putting down the mobs that have created mayhem and now cost a life. President Trump himself tweeted to point out how useless a mayor like Wheeler is in the face of violence and destruction. He retweeted what someone else said. He said, "Tone down the language, but true." And the original tweet was from someone named Tiff. Ted Wheeler is the useless effing idiot and comic relief that gets everyone killed in every disaster movie. Earlier in the day on Saturday, a driving caravan of pro-Trump conservatives headed into downtown Portland. Of course, like reasonable leftists, the Antifa thugs and BLM looters were anything but peaceful or calm. No, they did what leftists in power need them to do. Acted like Marx's revolutionary underclass, who are essential to toppling a country before Marxism can be instituted. Loving leftism yet? Our gun rights have been under attack for years, and for much of that time, the media and the left mocked anybody who cared about the Second Amendment for being paranoid. "Nobody is coming for your guns," they jeer. But we didn't believe them then, and they're not even pretending anymore. Our gun rights make America's citizens the last line of defense against a Marxist takeover. And those of you who've been following the show for any length of time know that I agree 100%. Fight like hell for your gun rights before they're hunting gun owners in every city like they were in Portland last night. So I thought I heard someone hop in. Let's see if someone did join us. Oh, that is the irascible yet lovable one. How you doing, Squib? Well, hopefully someone doesn't attack you for wearing that thing. I hear you. DJ Play Nice says audio not coming through in videos. Oh, that. Can the rest of you hear the audio on the videos? Ghost says, "I hope they come in here hunting." No, can't. You guys can't hear Squib? Well, what in the hell? Let me see what the issue is here. It could be in my settings. for my devices. Audio output. Voice meter, aux input. That should be it. Okay. Squib, say something. Can you hear me, Squib? No. Now I can't hear Squib. What in the hell? This is ridiculous. All right, Squibby. Now say something. All right, Squib's talking and nobody can hear him. See, this should be going to... All right, Squibby, how about now? Now I can't hear him. Great. I promise it was working earlier. James Pellerin says, it is not a chat unless there is technical difficulties. Well, you're absolutely right, and there certainly seem to be some technical difficulties going on right now, and that's not wonderful, but it's pretty much par for the course, right? Let's see, that's working for me. Okay. So, why can I not hear Squid? Did I mute him? Yeah, Squibby is muted. Let me not mute. Squib, did you mute yourself or something? And now he's talking. I just can't hear him. What in the heck? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and shut down the gun soup chamber and restart it and see if that helps. Because when in doubt, turn it off, turn it back on. So we'll do that. Yeah, that's nice. So, out there in the chat, someone, yes, Gun Lover Grandpa Buck, you are absolutely right. It is all Night Strike's fault. So that's what I'll do. He's the guy that runs GunTube Chamber, so I will blame Night Strike. That sounds good. Wait, I don't want Google. I want GunTube Chamber. With all this ridiculous stuff. So we have leftists actively hunting Trump supporters, actively hunting people they deem Nazis, right-wing, etc., out in Portland. I've said before that this is nothing less than a communist, a Marxist insurrection, and that they were going to do everything that they could to destabilize the country. And guess what, folks? This is just an escalation of that. It is them doing what I've been saying they do. G23 says, this is why I use the duck. Well, I don't like the duck. I like GunTube Chamber. When it works awesome. But, yeah. Now, let me try this yet again. New link. Sorry, folks out there trying to suffer through all this garbage. There, I just sent out the new link. So hopefully we'll get Squibby hopping in. And yeah, let me turn that off. Don't need to see my face any more than you have to, right? Now, let me see if I get this microphone crap worked out. So, you guys can still hear me, right? James Pellerin says the first thing extremists do is to use labels to dehumanize their opponents. Easier to kill a Nazi or a commie than a regular person. Yeah, very true. And I guess I'm kind of guilty of that. No, Ghost, I've got the voice. Ghost says make go to the voice meter screen. I've got the voice meter stuff set up right. I haven't changed the settings on that. It's got to be voice meter aux input. That's what's going out. So this coming in is voice meter VIO, and that's where I want this. I think that's the one I want. I don't know. Did you guys hear that? Make sure I hit the B button on my voice meter for my other. Yeah, B. Yeah, the B's are on. See? Right there. So I don't think it's a voice meter issue. So hopefully Squib will join us, and we'll see how that goes. Anyhow, moving on. There's more to it, though, because obviously that story isn't just that. Let's go ahead and watch. Actually, I'm going to go over this article from the New York Times, which for once, twice in a row actually, because they were pretty neutral and didn't have much of a bias for the Rittenhouse incident in Kenosha. So they're actually not having much of a bias with this one. Not much. I'm not saying not all, but not much. This is a piece from the New York Times. How the fatal shooting at a Portland protest unfolded. We followed the final moments of a man shot and killed in Portland, Oregon, as supporters of President Trump clashed with those protesting police violence. By Evan Hill, Stella Cooper, Drew Jordan, and Dimitri Kovin from August 31st, 2020. The fatal shooting of a far-right group supporter, again, they're anything to the left, anything to the right of Karl Marx is far-right. Supporter in Portland, Oregon on Saturday is raising fears that the Black Lives Matter and pro-Trump protests across the country could escalate into more deadly skirmishes. The Portland Police Bureau said that the killing was being investigated as a homicide, but had released few details. The New York Times' Visual Investigations Unit reviewed multiple videos of the episode and surrounding events to piece together the fatal encounter between an unidentified gunman and Aaron J. Danielson, 39, who died at the scene. The sequence of events that leads to the shooting begins with a caravan of Trump supporters gathering at Clackamas Town Center, about 10 miles southeast of Portland. According to a map posted on Facebook by the organizers, who called the event the Trump 2020 Cruise Rally, the caravan was meant to follow Interstate 405 on a route that would bypass downtown Portland, the scene of more than 90 days of protests against racism and police brutality. But a number of vehicles took a detour. Here's a little map of it. Circulating as the caravan prepares to get underway is Mr. Danielson, who can be seen in a video filmed by photojournalist Rick Peavyhouse. Mr. Danielson was a supporter of Patriot Prayer, according to the group's leader, Joey Gibson, and was wearing the group's hat at the time. Patriot Prayer describes itself as a conservative Christian group, but has attracted white supremacists, which of course is anybody that the left disagrees with, and previously taken firearms to Portland protests that frequently became street brawls. And there is Mr. Danielson. In images posted to Twitter by the Portland Tribune journalist Zane Sparling, we again see a man who appears to be Mr. Danielson. His companion, Chandler Pappas, carries a paintball gun, and according to Mr. Sparling, the men also came armed with knives. Ooh, scary. As the vehicles displaying Trump flags and signs enter downtown Portland, protesters gather along the street to confront the caravan and in some cases block its route. In multiple videos posted to Twitter, members of the caravan can be seen firing pepper spray and paintballs at the protesters. Well, gee, if they're trying to block the route, I can't imagine why they would do such a thing. By evening, only a handful of caravan trucks continue driving around downtown. In one confrontation filmed by the multimedia journalist Corey Elia, we see a tall man dressed in white and wearing a multi-pocketed vest. As members of the crowd shout at a truck and grab at its Trump flag, he can be seen reaching toward a vest pocket. Right here. Yeah, he was reaching for something. He was starting to, anyhow. Looks like a pretty familiar intersection, right? We'll see that again. The man in white appears again in a Facebook live stream filmed by the lighting designer and independent journalist Justin Dunlap, which means Antifa shill. He is standing among a crowd of Black Lives Matter supporters who are listening to a protester with a megaphone. He and the man with the megaphone began talking and pointing in the same direction. Then the man with the megaphone tells the protesters to move 6 blocks south to the Multnomah County Justice Center, the main protest site. The live stream shows the man in white walking by himself toward the Justice Center and crossing the street 1 block south. 1 minute and 43 seconds later, Mr. Dunlap turns his camera toward the sound of shouting. What happens next occurs within 6 seconds. The man in white and another man dressed in black can be seen crossing the street, apparently to confront Mr. Danielson and Mr. Pappas. There is shouting that is hard to hear on Mr. Dunlap's live stream, but in a second video filmed by Nathan Millsap, a Portland videographer, the audio is clearer. A man, who Mr. Pappas later contends is the gunman, shouts, "Hey, we got some right here. We got a couple right here." Another man says, "He's macing you. He's pulling it out." The sound of spraying is audible, followed immediately by 2 gunshots. Mr. Dunlap captures the shooting on his live stream. Mr. Danielson can be seen raising his arm and beginning to spray a pepper spray-like substance, followed almost immediately by the gunshots. The man in white backs away with his arm raised and then runs, along with the man dressed in black. And let's go ahead and so, hey, we got some right here. We got a couple right here. Then you hear some spraying. And then pop, pop. I don't know. Can you guys hear any of this at this point? So please let me know. In an interview posted on Facebook on Sunday, Mr. Pappas said that he and Mr. Danielson had not had any prior confrontations with the men who he didn't recognize. Mr. Dunlap, the live streamer, said he believed the Portland police should not have allowed the pro-Trump caravan to enter an area that they knew would be occupied by opposing protesters. Because, you know, how dare anybody else come on Antifa's territory? Still no sound. All right. Well, I'm not sure what the issue is, why I am not hearing, why the sound is not coming through. So you're back with us, Squib. Are you still no sound? Can you hear me? All right, now I can hear you. Can you guys hear Squib? So Rich White's saying they hear me only so far, but he hasn't. You hadn't spoken yet on that. So we'll see in a second if they can just hear me. So Rich White's saying they hear me only so far, but he hasn't. You hadn't spoken yet on that. So we'll see in a second if they can. Nope, no Squibby. Dang. So let me try to set this as one other thing. Audio output. Default voice meter input. Okay, Squib, now please say something. Squib, can you hear me? This is aggravating. Like, seriously aggravating. Alright. No speaking squibbish. I could hear something low before. This is aggravating. This technical difficulty shit is really starting to get on my nerves. Without any doubt whatsoever. Gotta wonder if one of my children came and screwed with my settings on my computer while I wasn't looking. It's not beyond pause. Hey, Squib, are you there? Can you hear me? Squib. Yeah, now he can't hear me. Squib, can you hear me? All right, I'm just going to go on with the show, and if you can hear me, Squib, go ahead and chime in. Hopefully, you know. So, out there in the chat, let me go back up. Let's see. Snob says, I'm back. You can start when I lost service. DJ Playness says, I call a do-over. Portland protesters exposed says, look up on Google Black Unity PDX mental health. You will find him with Black Unity. Who will you find on with Black Unity? PPE. Mine's the only live mic, yeah. He says he was also part of the Black Unity PDX security team that beat down Hainer and like 20 other people. Oh, are you talking about the either the gunman or the live streamer? DJ Play Nice says, Squib's not here, man. PPE says the shooter. Yeah. Holy crap, there you are, Squib. Now I can hear you. Kinda. You're roboting. Do you have a bad connection or something? All right, there I heard you clear. I don't know if they did. Carolina EDC Review says they only hear me. Why is this not shocking to me? It should be, but let's see. Microphone, HD, web, voice meter, input. See, this should be the setting for you guys, for me to be able to hear your audio. Because that should be running into voice meter and then being sent to XSplit. There's no reason for this not to be working because XSplit's input is the VB Audio virtual cable output. So, you know what? Let me... Yeah, now I can't hear you at all. This is a pain in my ass. Yeah, I know. I should just go do the show and say to hell with it, dude. But it's aggravating the ever-loving hell out of me. But that's where we're going to leave it. So, to hell with it. Because the show must go on, and go on we shall. Damn it. All right, so there we have the New York Times' look at this. Let's see if I can find... Let me go back up here and we'll scroll to the live stream. If I can find this. Or do I have that in my topics? I think I have this right here. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it. I hope you will. Because this audio, you can clearly hear what's said. So, to set this up, this guy is walking down the street right by where Jay was. And you can hear them say, hey, we got one right here. We got a couple right here. No audio. Shit. And then you can hear the sound of spraying. So here, let me, you know what I'll do? I will get around it this way. I will chuck the link-a-rooney in the chat. And you guys can, on your own time when you wish to, go listen to this. So, yeah. I'm about ready to just say to hell with it and end this whole damn thing because this is really pissing me off. But yeah, you can hear the spray, then you can hear the gunshots. And you guys just hear me. So, you know what? I'm done with this. To hell with this. I'm not going to do a shitty show. I'm just going to say piss on this and maybe get back to it. Try to carve out some time on Monday to figure this garbage out and come back at this because this is really pissing me off. So, yeah. Yeah. We're going to come back at this Monday at 6 o'clock. Sorry, folks, for putting on a shit show here and lighting a dumpster fire. But I can't have this. I've got to fix this shit. This is really driving me crazy. So, yeah. I'll be back. I will try. I might be using might not be using the chamber on Monday. I might try something else. If nothing else, I'll go back to good old Google Meet, Google Hangouts, and because I can use that as a source for XSplit and go from there. Maybe in between now and then, I'll do a quick live stream or two to test that, and we'll go from there, guys. So those of you who'll decide to give this another chance, I will see you on Monday. And if you don't decide to give this another chance, well, always remember what I say. Tell your Congress critters elected representative is what you think. Send them a snail mail, email, telephone, telegraph, smoke signals, carrier pigeons, heliograph, semaphore, whatever you have to do to let them know what you think. And never, ever, ever give up the fight. And I'll see you guys on Monday. What in the fuck is this Mickey Mouse?